The Texas Spiny Lizard is a native of the Lone Star State. If you live in Texas, chances are you've seen one of these mini dinosaur-looking creatures zipping around like lightning up trees and along fences. The Texas Spiny Lizard is named for the pointed scales running along their backs. But don't let their scales scare you, as they are not only harmless but helpful and useful garden companions. The Texas Spiny Lizard lives mostly in trees, but other habitats include logs, stumps, old buildings, fences, prickly pear clumps, and rock walls that have crevices in them. They are fast climbers because they have specialized claws on their toes that enable them to easily climb and hang on to tree bark. Nearly all sunning, some feeding, and most mating takes place in a tree or on an elevated area such as a wall, fence, or post. The Texas Spiny Lizard occasionally descends to the ground to forage for food, to move to another tree, or to lay its eggs. Texas Spiny Lizards move and live in an area of about 0.07 to 0.116 acres. That's the size of an average yard. That means if you see a Texas Spiny Lizard in your garden or yard, then your garden or yard is their world. Female Texas Spiny Lizards are larger than the males. The average length of a 3-year-old female lizard is 9 to 11 inches, while a male of the same age averages only 7.5 to 9 inches. Male lizards have blue patches that extend from the forelimbs to the hind limbs that increase in width and brightness as they age. Females have numerous dark gray wavy bands across the tops of their backs. Females may also have a faint blue patch on either side or no blue at all. Both the male and the female can become darker in color for heat absorption or paler to reflect heat. Texas Spiny Lizards usually begin mating in mid-March through early summer. When the female Texas Spiny Lizard is ready to lay her eggs, she descends from a tree to the ground in search of an area of loose soil that will make a good nest site. She will then dig a nest site that is a hole that is about 3 to 4 inches deep at a 45-degree angle. This female chose to dig her nest in my cucumber bed along a piece of black plastic edging. This area was probably a good choice since the black plastic edging will absorb the rays of the sun and help to keep the nest wall from collapsing. Her eggs have soft walls and measure 3/4 inches in length and are covered in soil. Since she chose this place to lay her eggs, I assumed that Mother knows best, and I left them alone so they would have a better chance of hatching. Eggs should not be disturbed during the first 24 hours because during this time the embryo is not very well attached to the wall of the egg and could become unattached and die when the egg is moved. Mature female Texas Spiny Lizards can lay anywhere from 1 to 4 clutches of eggs from April through August. They lay an average of 11 eggs in the first reproductive season and an average of 24 eggs in their third seasons and thereafter. Eggs usually hatch in 50 to 60 days. Only about 2 to 5% of the eggs will hatch and the lizards will reach sexual maturity. Newly hatched lizards are usually between 2.5 to 2 5/8 inches long. Texas Spiny Lizards are great garden companions. They're natural pest control agents who work free for you every day in your garden. They feed primarily on grasshoppers, blister beetles, June beetles, pill bugs, spiders, and mites. So from their elevated position in trees and on fences and walls, they can easily see an insect in your garden. When they see the insect, they zip down to the garden floor, capture the insect, and quickly return to the same tree. If you would like to attract Texas Spiny Lizards to your garden, just create a healthy natural environment and they will come. A healthy environment for them is one that is free of pesticides and unnatural fertilizers. Lizards can be utilized as biological pest control agents in an integrated pest management system that relies more on the use of natural controls instead of pesticides, many of which can poison the lizards and their food supply. Also, don't use netting in your garden as the lizards can become entangled in them and perish. You can also create an appealing habitat by placing an old log or a small pile of rocks beside a wooden fence, tree, or wall. Your Texas Spiny Lizard will hibernate in the winter. Their favorite hibernation spots are areas with deep layers of leaves and in the soil. I have found several of them hibernating a couple of inches under the soil under an area that is very deep in leaves. The Texas Spiny Lizards may live 5 years or more.